Hey, what's up everybody? Thank you for stopping in. So as you see, we got a lot done on the Yukon. I kind of got ahead of myself. I'll show you real quick. I already pulled the harness out. I get a lot of questions about pulling the harness. You need to unplug it from there. There's the T25 or a T30. The little bulkhead comes out. Take the fuse block. Obviously unplug everything from the engine. Yes, you need that plug down there. It's two 7mm screws, bolts. They're weird, but yeah, they're kind of a pain to get out, but you need those. That runs the power to your dash, so don't cut that. See, we got all the accessories off. You don't even need to disconnect that. Still, I'm not exactly sure about what bracket I'm going to use right here, the factory LS bracket or a different, like a ICT billet one. But we'll get into that later. This is going to be step one, what you need to get rid of and what you need to keep. We're going to keep AC on this. So this, I'm just going to flop over. Don't kink any lines, but let's get it out of the way. I have everything unbolted right now. I'm actually about to pull this out and start cleaning it up and make room for the LS, even though we don't have it yet. Taking advantage of the nice weather we got. So really, I'm gonna pull this thing out, then I'll show you the harness and what I did to it. Now that we got some light, I'll just go ahead and show you what else you need to keep. You keep your battery cables. It runs down to the starter. You keep that. This is a little unique to this car. This is a Tahoe Yukon, so it has rear AC and all that. So it has this weird valve. It needs a vacuum reference up here. Oh, that line's cracked. But yeah, I'll probably replace that, but it also needs one that goes to a manifold. There it is. And then there's a battery cable that runs along here and to the fuse block that gives it power. On the green truck that I already swapped, I put the battery here, and I kind of had to make my own wires and power cables and everything. So for this one, I think I'm going to leave the battery in the stock location. That way we can reuse all the power wire that goes to the starter, the power wire that goes to the fuse block, and all that. So you unplug the ABS module, plug there, two plugs there. Like I said earlier, that bulkhead. There's a couple plugs down here. This goes to your cruise control. This is the one out of the LS. This is drive-by wire. I don't know if I'm going to do drive-by wire or drive-by cable yet. I have not made up my mind, but I've just seen if it fit, and it does. It actually fits in the factory location. Obviously, if you want to keep AC, keep that, which we are. So there's really not a lot you need from the old harness. You're really just using the fuse block. If you keep an AC, obviously keep all the wires that go to the AC. Four-wheel drive input, which one of those wires down there goes to the four-wheel drive if you have four-wheel drive. Then really it's just oil pressure gauge, coolant, and that's pretty much it. Those are the only two gauges. And now I'll get to the harness. I'll show you what I did. This is the OBS harness, completely thinned down to everything we need. What I do is I get the pinouts from lt1swap.com. I keep this way it stays organized, and you know exactly which pin is what, so you can go back and look. Don't just pull them all out, because if you do that, you'll never figure out which one is what. So these are the ones I ended up keeping. Here's the tack wire. People ask me a lot how the RPM gauge works. It runs off of the tack signal, which comes from this plug in here. That tab comes off, this opens up. On this one it's E8, and so on a 99, it was the same on a 98. These, I'm not sure if they're different on the 96 and 97s. I know there's some differences. The 96, 97s, not that it can't work on those, just the pinouts are a little bit different. But it's E8 for 98 and 99, which is also on lt1swap.com's website. You got the pinouts for all the OBS and NBS stuff. Here's the ABS stuff. This truck, or this Yukon, came with a smog pump, which we're not going to keep because the new engine doesn't need it. But I am going to use this relay to fire up the LS harness. You need to run a relay. This one's already there, so that works out well. Some AC stuff. Here's That actually goes to the compressor. I believe that's the coolant temp, oil pressure, another cutout switch of some sort. This orange wire is the hood light. You can see what I did here. As I peeled it all apart, which it really sucks, it does, but as you do it, put little zip ties so you can kind of get an idea where things branch off. And here's that plug I said you absolutely need it. See, it's got a big thick red wire. This powers your dash. And these plugs are on the inside of the cab. And these go over to your passenger side. This is ground. This is the starter wire. This excites the starter. This is not the main power. Starters have a cable coming straight from the battery, which is hot all the time. And this wire just excites the solenoid. This is for the four-wheel drive underneath. So if you don't have four-wheel drive, you don't need that. And this is the neutral safety switch. I got in a hurry, I got mad, and I cut it. Don't do that. Take your time. Either take the whole neutral safety switch off, or use a heat gun, because those plugs have a glue in them, hold them together, keep them weather tight. I'll probably just get a new pigtail and rewire it. Looks like some of these wires are kind of chewed anyway, so I'm not too upset about it. But so the OBS harness needs the neutral safety switch. The MBS harness needs the other plug that goes in. It like tells it what gear it's in and whatnot. So the new harness needs that. The old harness, the OBS harness, just needs the neutral safety switch. And again, I get asked these questions so many times. So this is from L2OnSwap.com. Go to harness modification, and then go down. You'll see OBS 96 through 98, 99, whatever. Click on that. And whether you have a 96, 97, click that link. Or if you have a 98, 99, click 98, 99, click that link. They're all the same, like what they do. Just some of these will be in different spots. And he even has them like listed, like, so yellow you don't need, green it's up to you, like if you want to keep AC, which I do, and blue you absolutely need. And he tells you where to put them on the new harness. So this video is really just going to be about what you need to keep, which I've already started telling you guys. So I guess now I'll show you the engine real quick. Some people are asking me why I don't just fix it and sell it. Well, this is why. Look how gummed up this thing is. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw my post. Oh, I took it off. The oil filter had a date on it. They used a lube shop to do it. It's a 2011. I was graduating high school last time this thing got an oil change, and it had the mileage written on it. It was 18,000 miles on the oil change. So someone probably didn't take good care of this thing. So that's another reason why I didn't want to keep this engine. And LS swaps are a better way to go, in my opinion. I took the pan off just like the green truck to see if it was a 4-bolt main. It is not. Most of them aren't, but sometimes you get lucky and you get a 4-bolt main. Not that I want to keep this or anything. It's just I could sell it for more if it's a 4-bolt. Back to things you need to keep. Talking about the heater earlier, you can use these factory lines. They're just way too long because on the 350 they plug in up top, and the LS they're down here by the pump. So you just have to trim them back, and they fit perfectly on the LS pump, which is good because these ends are kind of junk anyway. So you cut it back, get a fresh end. You can keep coolant tank, radiator. I'm probably gonna get new ones because when I drained that, there was metal shavings in it. So another reason why I don't want to keep that engine. Kind of sucked. In the green truck, that one I swapped, I did keep the radiator. These come with a 34-inch radiator, which is really nice. Comes with a big one. Most of them do. A lot more so than the newer body style, like my black truck. Mine came with a 28, and I upgraded it to the 34. I believe you can get rid of the EVAP canister. I'm going to keep the emissions intact on this. I'm going to use the EVAP purge solenoid from the LS. I think you can keep this canister if you want. They're both controlled the same way, but we're just gonna use the purge solenoid. We'll just get a new hose from here down there, whatever, and run it to the top of that. And for the power steering pump, I haven't decided what bracket I want to use. On the green truck, we use the NBS, the 5.3 power steering pump, and you can just use the lines from the 5.3. They plug right in. The return line, actually, that was a little different. Yeah, so I used both the lines from the newer 5.3, and that worked fine. That truck doesn't have AC, so I wasn't too worried about it. But this I want to keep AC, and I want to keep it in the factory location, so we don't have to mess with these. There are some people that make their own brackets to put the AC where the alternator goes on the 5.3. Then just relocate the alternator to this side, which actually works out because this already has the, where is it at? The wire for the alternator on this side that goes to the battery. So another reason why I want to put the battery over here. Keep it all nice and easy. Like I said, some people make their own bracket to utilize the 5.3 AC bracket, the whole thing, or ICT Billet now has their own, and you use that power steering pump that came with this truck, and it puts the AC compressor there. And then you just have to buy the relocation bracket and then figure out what size belt you need, which that's kind of a pain, but if you're doing the swap, I guess a belt isn't that big of a deal. You can figure it out. Well, that's going to do it. That is part one, I guess you would say, of what to keep and what to get rid of on your OBS LS swap. I should have showed you guys the harness when I first pulled it out. If you go back on my Instagram, you'll see it. It's an Endless Wishlist 6.0. You can see how big the harness was. I posted a picture of it, and now you saw how small it is. You get rid of almost everything. And the same with the LS harness. There's a lot of things on that you don't need. A lot of things are integrated into it. Thin that one down, and then we'll get to it in another video where you integrate that one into the LS harness. The LS computer is going to control everything. What's really cool about this swap is that the wires, the terminals that plug into the computer, are actually the same ends, so they plug right in. Check me out on Instagram, which I already said, Endless Wishlist 6.0. Take care. I'll see you guys next time.